So just about to get underway here in this women's gold race. The gun is up, and we're off. A long straightaway. Once again, see how this shakes out. Again, Minnesota, the big team favorite. They come back after finishing third last year in this race behind San Francisco and Iowa State. Those two teams, San Francisco, Iowa State, not here this year. So Minnesota, the strong group returning, including the Haas twins. They appear to be the big favorites, and already you can see the Gophers getting out strong.
Yeah, 14-team field here at the Griak Invitational. So, you know, there's a little bit of room to navigate for these women's clubs.
Yeah, they're getting out hard. Looks like that is the two Haas twins, Bethany and Megan. They were both top 15 a year ago, and they had nice races last week, too, in the Battle of Beantown, where both ladies finished top 5 for the Gophers. Just getting out in the early going here. So navigating this first kilometer. And that is Bethany and Megan Haas there. Try to get a look at, looks like a Montana State athlete. Also have a Harvard athlete as well. So that's Kelsey Lasota, Montana State on the left side. Just getting going, but no surprises thus far. Bethany and Megan Haas, top 15 runners last year at this meet. And they figure to fight it out for the title this year. Abby Goldstein up there for Harvard as well. So we've kind of established our top 4 and 5 through the first, we're just about 3/4 of the way through this first kilometer, so a long way to go. That's Megan Haas of Minnesota there in the middle with her sister Bethany on the right side.
And at this juncture in the race, obviously, working together makes the difference. You know, you can kind of feed off each other, the energy and sort of the pace, the tempo of what you're trying to accomplish here. So they're getting through to the 1K mark at a good point.
Bethany and Megan were both top 75 finishers at the NCAA meet last year. Bethany was 70th, their sister 74th. Just juniors in 2018. Here they come to the first K at about 3:20. Let's get that steep downhill into the construction area right off the kilometer, and we have 6 that have broken away here. All about equal. Kelderman and Montana State up there, the two Haas sisters, Goldstein, Lasota, and then that looks like an unattached athlete, Rakasan. It's a group of 6 that's broken away. Bethany Haas was second last week at the Coast to Coast Battle in Beantown, her season debut. So 2 races in 2 weeks. That'll get you fit awfully quick. She finished 11th at this meet a year ago. That's Bethany Haas. So 2 experienced juniors up front for the Gophers.
And beyond this, 6-person front pack it's all Minnesota.
Oh, definitely.
You can see the gold singlets right behind this lead pack, and it's kind of deafening almost.
Yeah, the Lady Gophers have a strong squad this year. They did graduate Madeline Strandamo, who was their top runner a year ago, was 10th in this meet. But still, yeah, they have a up-and-coming group here in Minneapolis, led by these twins. Still have 2 more years of eligibility, and they are looking strong thus far. I think Minnesota brought back 4 total ladies who finished top 50 in this race last year. And when you consider that last year San Francisco was in this race, San Francisco, the team that ultimately finished second in the NCAA championships, you realize that race is a little bit softer this year, but also just going to give Minnesota a chance to really dominate. There's our view back up front. Minnesota sisters running things with Goldstein from Harvard up well. Could Harvard sweep the individual races? Got it with Karen Tuntavate in the men's race, and right now Goldstein leading things in the women's race. Wow, look at all that Minnesota. It's a tough course, but it's been running really fast. Cold, so the ground is hard. Not so cold that it's really an impediment, though. There's one of the Minnesota athletes ditching the gloves. There's Megan and Bethany. They were in the lead through a pretty quick first mile, 5:29. We know Goldstein's right there. Lesota looks like maybe she's fallen off a little bit. But if there was Minnesota men, if there was any critique about them maybe being a little too conservative, that is not the case for these ladies, especially the Haas twins up front and not even wanting to give an inch. They're running stride for stride together and have broken this one open. Goldstein hanging tough with them.
Making a little bit of a move on the right-hand side, though.
Yep. Well, anybody get antsy like they have in the other 3 races thus far and really go for it. You feel like if there's a candidate to do it, it's Goldstein because she's not running with her teammate. You don't figure to see one of the twins kind of break away from the other. But we shall see.
Sometimes you just have to fight that internal
It's
feeling.
tough. Yeah, and Goldstein, as we say that, gone to the front. Let's see what she does here because we know that the bold moves so far haven't paid off. They hit 2K there, a little bit past 2K, I should say. So Goldstein and the 2 Haas sisters. We got another athlete in the mix. We'll try to ID. I believe that's the unattached athlete, Elsa Rakasan. So that's Bethany on the right and Megan on the left for Minnesota. Followed by Goldstein and then Rakasan. Goldstein of Harvard and the unattached athlete Rakasan. Again, 2 Minnesota athletes were both top 10 at this meet last year. Or top 15, I should say. Coming back, trying to get a title this year. Goldstein less proven on the cross-country course.
You'll actually come through this way.
She was 23rd at HEPS last year. Just a freshman and 138th at the Northeast region. So this could be a big race for her to really up her confidence.
Looks like they're building a wall up in front there.
No, the advantage of having two athletes of the same ability for Minnesota is huge. Bethany has been just slightly better over the course of their career, but really they're obviously similar runners, as most twins are. We're about to hit 3K, halfway approaching. About 10:17 for Bethany Haas, followed by her sister in 10:17. So running it quick, they're on 20:34 pace. That's no joke on this course. Looks like the two Haas sisters starting to break away a little bit here. And maybe that was the plan. Wait till 3K and then really go for it, because Goldstein and Rakasan look like they're reeling a little bit here. Let's see if they can catch up to this move by the two sisters. Team scores through 3,000 meters. Minnesota in control with unofficially 37 points. Cal Baptist in second. Cal Baptist, the recently joined Division I program. They were a top D2 squad last year, now mixing it up with the D1 squads. They're doing well thus far, but they are well back of the Gophers, in control both in the team and individual race here.
Goldstein and Razakhan trying to hold on, but these twins or these sisters are really pushing maybe that tempo as they look to kind of close this race out in the final second half of the race. As we've seen, it's a second half race, and you start to make that move a little bit in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of race left to go, but given their pedigree and their experience on this course, you got to like either Bethany or Megan to pick up this win. So Bethany on the right still, Megan on the left. Juniors for Minnesota.
And it looks like you really have to use these sort of, these long straightaways to your advantage. When you're not fighting a hill or gaining that momentum down and downhill, you really have to use the straightaways, the long straight paths to your advantage and really, start to put on the gas.
Yeah, and I think just knowing this course, such an advantage for these two ladies. And you can tell the plan was just to kind of sit around until 3K and then really strike. Because even without communication, they've just broken it open at the halfway point. Stride for stride. Now you got to wonder when will the sibling rivalry kind of take over? Will they get competitive before the last straight? Will they save it for a kick? We'll wait and see.
Sometimes it's just the glance. Bethany, hey, you got this one. Megan, no, it's yours. It could be something like that.
And, definitely I'm sure either would be happy for the other sister to win, but you want to win at Griak if you're a Minnesota Gopher. And so this will be fun to see how they duke it out over the final couple kilometers here. Bethany typically has been slightly better as far as results have come on the cross-country course over the last couple of years, but only slightly. And obviously they're of similar ability here. They finished just 4 places away from each other at Nationals last fall, so they're basically identical. Well, they are identical, I should say. They're basically identical as far as results go, though, as well. Got something written on their legs there. But, wow, you can, aside from Goldstein way off in the distance and then Rakasan as well, it's all Minnesota and all the Haas sisters. And maybe here Okay, it looked like for a second Bethany was going to break away. We'll see. You just get a view of how tough this course is, that hill. You almost have to slow down to a walk coming up that steep incline there you see on the bottom left of your screen. And now basically no one in sight. It is all Minnesota. And the juniors, Bethany and Megan Haas.
And it seems like Megan's carrying Bethany a little bit, trying to have your shoulder right off the center of her, your pace. So Megan's at the current moment leading this race.
Chase pack continuing to work their way around the hills, which it feels like it was several minutes ago for our leaders. Just how big of a gap they have here. Again, Bethany on the right and Megan on the left for Minnesota. Not really much to say here. They are just running away with this. I'm going to be interested to see once we get past 5K if we really start to see some surges here, or they kind of sprint to the line together. Again, the race is in hand. It's going to be one of the Haas sisters from Minnesota winning, and Minnesota women all but assured of a title as well, as they've been dominating throughout.
Almost an open and shut race for Minnesota, but early on we saw Cal Baptist had 2 runners in the top 10. As you've seen, they're a recently minted Division I team. What does a good performance in a race like this say for Cal Baptist?
Yeah, it's big. I know they're just getting their feet wet in Division I. The step up from D2 to D1 is significant, and running these tough courses and just experiencing the upgrade in competition is just important in your first year. Fortunately, you do get that, grace period where you're not eligible for NCAAs. That can be a good and a bad thing. Good in the sense that, you get a chance to really get up, rise to the level, and running meets like this really will help the athletes and help the program raise the profile. But these two are in a different league, a league of their own. Who's going to crack first, or will they cross the line together is the question. Again, Bethany there with the slightest of lead, but Megan, well, now you could say Megan has the lead. I mean, they're basically stride for stride here. Nobody in sight. Just a complete domination. There's Goldstein. She's well back at this point, though.
Her shoes are untied on her left shoe as well.
Yeah, that's why you do see a lot of athletes sometimes tie or tape their laces so that doesn't happen. We've seen that happen with a couple athletes now today. Not something you want. And here we go. Maybe Bethany starting to separate a little bit. We're into the last kilometer. Is Bethany starting to leave her sister? It looks like that's the case. Just a slight acceleration that Megan hasn't covered just yet. Now she's starting to move up. But again, Bethany's been slightly better as far as the results go the last couple years. Just that subtle differences, and maybe it's a mental thing with Bethany's gotten her a couple times, and that's kind of established as the standard here. Approaching 20 minutes. They should be about a minute and a half away from the finish line now. Into that construction area. Now the lead is clear for Bethany Haas, the junior from Minnesota, with her sister behind. Got one more turn here, and then they'll approach the finish line. Into the final straightaway we go. Bethany Haas of Minnesota. Her sister behind her, but it looks like she's going to pick up a win, her first ever on Griak. Coming back after a top 15 finish a year ago. And on the home course in front of the home fans, it's going to be Bethany Haas. It's going to be the first win by a female from Minnesota since 2009, so nearly a decade has passed. Bethany Haas winning unofficially 20:48 with her sister Megan close behind. A great day for the sisters, a great day for Minnesota as well. Look at that gap. My goodness. The first Minnesota winner in a long, long time, 9 years, in fact. As the Gophers go 1-2 in the women's gold race. Now, start to see how the team battle unfolded. Imagine we're going to see a lot of Minnesota as we keep our eye on the finish line here. There's Goldstein. She's going to get passed right at the end here. Looks like that was maybe a North Dakota State runner. There's your first Cal Baptist. A bit surprised not to see as many Minnesota thus far. There's one. See how this team, there's 4 for Minnesota.
Ryan Helmers of Rice, a freshman out of Virginia, 21:38, 7th overall here at Griak.
There's a look at your top 9 thus far. Does Minnesota have a 5th yet? We shall see. They do now for sure, but let's see how the team competition shook out. There's a lot of Cal Baptist athletes up there. This could be close. Preliminary results do have Minnesota in with 5, but that will adjust as the results keep coming in. So it does look like, at least at this point, that the Minnesota women have won this, which would be their first win in 10 years in this race. The Hot Sisters go 1-2, and we're waiting on the team results. Again, looks good for Minnesota. Cal Baptist appears to have grabbed 2nd. That's a great run for them. So they get their top runner, Annette Samoji, in there. But again, Minnesota women, first win at Griak in a decade.